like damn. Give me some food for thought, changing the pasta you had in your heart. Hey.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Tyrell Clemens. I'm coming to you, my beautiful wife, Miss Wendy. It is time to give breaks for your soul, your food for thought. So, Wendy, what do you have for them this morning?
Well, today's quote is from someone named Ann Landers.
Now, what Ann say?
It's not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings.
Ooh, say that thing again.
It is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings.
Look, right now we're in a situation where so many people have their kids at home. I know y'all frustrated, y'all pulling your hair out, y'all crying like, when is school gonna start back? Jesus! I know a lot of y'all are going crazy. No, we got school, Lord. I can't be no teacher. I can't handle it. And a lot of y'all going crazy.
And what is this algebra?
But here's what's so important. You are here with your kids now. You're spending time with your kids. Look, it's a very important thing. But you got to realize your role as a parent, your entire goal as a parent is to make sure the children that you raise are going to be productive members of society. And see, so many people have the thing wrong. They have to think the thought process that you have to do things for your kids. You have to take care of your kids. You got to take care of your kids. You got to take care of your kids. But the thing is, you want to teach your children to be in a position where they can take care of themselves.
It's like an old proverb where they say you can give someone a fish and they'll eat for a day, or you can teach them how to fish. They'll eat a lifetime.
And that's perfect because too many people are just giving their kids fish. Look, I've seen so many kids and so many adults now that once they come to me, they don't know how to do nothing. I got a parent that comes in. I had a parent, she come in with an oxygen tank. Her son, 35, 40 years old, and she has to be with him while he's in my office. Look, he a grown man. This man got kids. They got kids. You have to realize your goal as a parent is not to baby a child or not to baby your kid, but it's to train your kid to handle business himself. Look, if your kid is still 12 years old and you're taking their bath, if they don't have a mental deficiency, you are doing something wrong. You are babying that child. Go ahead.
As they get older, it's like should be certain things that, okay, yeah, you may start off doing this, but then you got to slowly break away. And you got to be able to teach them how to do this, teach them how to think, teach them, let them have some leeway, I guess, before you actually jump in.
Some people are 28 years old and they're still on training wheels. They're not literally on training wheels because obviously you're after that age, you shouldn't be on training wheels, but people are still on training wheels, meaning they depend on their parents for everything. They depend, anytime something happens, they're calling their mama and daddy. Anytime something get bad, they're calling their mama and daddy. But what I want you to understand is you need to be in a position where you train your children to be able to handle things for themselves. Now, it doesn't make you a bad parent. It doesn't make you a bad parent because your kid struggles a little bit. You got to realize the ultimate father makes sure we struggle a little bit. He doesn't make everything just happen for us. It's just rubber magic, boom, and it happens. No, sometimes you have to work for some things. God puts certain gifts and talents in you, and he will give you some guidance, but after a certain point, he lets you figure some things out on your own. And it's important as a parent right now that you let some of your kids figure some things out on their own. Don't let them put themselves in a position where they get hurt too bad. Make sure if they fall, you have a net so they don't fall but so far. But at the end of the day, if you don't allow your children to make some mistakes, if you don't allow your children to do some things to themselves, your children will never be able to do things without you.
Now, we're not telling you to ignore, don't give your kids nothing, and don't take care of them. That's not what we're saying.
No, but you can't baby the mess out of them kids.
And you can't show them how to earn stuff. Cause when I was teaching, I had the one person that had the cell phone, right? And they didn't do their schoolwork. They didn't pay attention in class. One time the phone was going off in class. The parent was calling. And
in class? In
class. And when I said, give me the phone, no, you could ask my mama.
See now.
Then the mama came back and got it.
They want Charles Clemens raised because my daddy told me, boy, I take the PlayStation and I'll bust it up. I'm gonna take a sledgehammer, I'll bust it in front of you, and you won't get another one. But my daddy was a little crazy. But at the same time, I want you to understand there's some things that my dad showed me in my growing up that makes my life better now. Because I'm not a person who's super dependent on other people, because I was taught that once you get to a certain age, you have to do certain things. You have to be willing to do certain things. And And too many people in our generation now have a mentality where they expect so many people to do things for them. I need you to get this in your mind. When you're raising a child, you have to give them a certain level of independence where they have to do some things on their own.
Independence and responsibility.
They have to have some responsibility. Back in the day, people had chores. Back in the day, they had to go take out the trash. They had to cut the grass. They had things that they had to do. But now people, they have an expectation of things to happen. My dad is one of the most generous men in the world. He gives me anything I need, anything I want. But I guarantee you, he didn't just walk out and say, here, daddy, here, his son, here this, here this. No, I had to earn that because I had to learn responsibility. I had to learn to be independent. And now that I can do stuff on my own, he give me more stuff now than when I didn't need it.
Back then, parents used to tell you. Now parents ask you.
It didn't work that way. So I'm trying to get this in our mindsets. I want y'all, a lot of people who watch us and interact with us, they have kids. And I want you to understand, I know I'm not trying to tell you how to raise your kids, but I'm trying to encourage you right now to make sure you teach your children and not just do for your children. The quote was good. It's not what you do for your children, but what you teach your children to do for themselves. I need you to get this in the mind. You need to teach your children how to be better adults, not just allow them to be babies the rest of their lives. It will affect their entire life. At some point, you might be able to let your kid fix his own breakfast. Let him fix his own lunch. Let him go ahead and wash some stuff. Now, I ain't telling you to be irresponsible. Let the kid pay for his own bills. That ain't what we're saying. But make sure they have some responsibility now and will make them better adults later. All right? Look, that is your breakfast for your soul, your food for thought. Bye!
Work. It's the Clemens. It's the Clemens. It's the Clemens. We the Clemens. We the Clemens. It's the Clemens.